Hello everyone and welcome to our group's presentation. I am Thuận and the case today is about the Station 20 West Community Enterprise Center. My part will present about the history and purpose of Station 20 West, while the other members, Lan, Tao, and Tian, will present how it impacts the community by using three analytical tools learned from our class. The case goes around the Saskatoon West Side core neighborhoods that includes Riverdale, Pleasant Hill, King George, Westmount, and Caswell Hill. Well, first of all, we want to look back to the history of the area, back into the past, in the post-World War II period. The private sector investment in Saskatoon systematically fled to the outer city. More recently, the government's support to disadvantaged residents who are concentrated in the older core neighborhoods have also been scaled back. There are two reasons that can considerably explain these circumstances that cause the leakage of wealth, services, and even the people out of the inner city. They are the suburbanization in the post-World War II and the globalization since the 1980s, driven by private sector-led development and restructuring. Post-World War II, new commercial investments, including residential, shopping centers for example, shifted the center of both economic and political aspects to the suburbs. Public authorities were political captives to this process of uneven development because they were financially overextended by the need to service the infrastructure demands of subdivision developers, a pro-growth business lobby, and press, and a politically influential suburban middle class. On the other hand, authorities were unwilling to the risk of deficit finance or political cost of diverting the benefits to the less influential population. The crisis of Saskatoon core neighborhoods was further deepened by the globalization, which reshaped the core neighborhoods in several ways. The accelerated outer city sprawl. Multinational retailers moving the retail activity further from traditional way. Instead of wealth recirculation in the local economy, leakage from Saskatoon economy increased as profit was taken out of the community. Under neoliberalism, the government cut social spending, like traditional welfare provision and funding for citizen initiatives. Affordable housing policy were pulled back, unemployment and poverty increased. If neoliberal globalization promotes the evolution of government responsibilities or market efficiencies over citizen welfare and decent work, it also encourages people to work and learn together to enduring and emerging problems, especially high levels of inequality and poverty, in new and innovative ways. Station 20 West was the name coined in 2003 for a community development project envisioned for the crossroad of 20th Street and the Canadian Pacific Railway tracks in Saskatoon. In the early days of Station 20 West, shortly after the last grocery store on the 20th Street closed in 1997 as a result of suburbanization, community surveys and consultation were conducted by two community partners, Queen Development Corporation, a community economic development organization, and Jet Good Food Inc., formerly known as the Child Hunger and Education Program, that identify a grocery store as one of the community's top priorities, as well as employment opportunities and decent low-cost housing. The two companies worked together with community to organize a new neighborhood cooperative, a community-owned food store. More organizations were interested in this co-location model with the store, and eventually, with the support of Jeff and Queen Development Corporation, the idea of co-location model extended to that of Community Development Enterprise Center. This center would bring a number of agencies together to work with the community in a coordinated way to reduce poverty and improve the livelihood of the core neighborhoods. Located in the Saskatoon inner city, where socio-economic disadvantage correlates with high crime, no grocery store for 10 years, low political participation, employment rates of 50% above national average, a rate of HIV of 60% higher than the national average, and the infant mortality rates of 1.5 times higher than middle-income neighborhoods. Station 20 West has its grand opening in October 2012 as a result of an unprecedented community effort to secure alternative funding after the 2008 provincial government withdrawal of $8 million funding at that time. The original funding had been $11.5 million. And to improve quality of the life in the core neighborhoods, which have high population of indigenous people, newcomer, for example, the immigrant, and the seniors, of course. So, what's in Station 20 West and how does it impact the community? As committed to social, economic, and healthy equity, Station 20 West provides space that facilitate the provision of efficient and sustainable services and amenities to support community economic development and improve the well-being of individuals and families in the core neighborhoods of Saskatoon. This mission is delivered through services and programs provided by its co-locators such as Chef Good Food Inc. that works with children and families and communities to improve access to good food and promote good food security. Queen Development Corporation that provides housing, employment, and economic development programs. The Kid First program, which is a home-based early childhood development program. Saskatoon Health Region, which is a neighborhood health center, or the Community Outreach and Engagement Office, operated by the University of Saskatchewan. The Saskatoon Model Center, which is a center, uses a strength-based approach to develop skills of a diverse and intergenerational group of women. The Boxcar Cafe, a program for young people who need work experience and interested in running a business or the hospitality industry. Station 20 West also has a large multi-purpose room and a smaller rooms that are available to rent for community events and meetings.
Thanks, Alex. This is Lan. We're going to look further into the company through the MS, Cap, and Hudson approaches to define if Station 20 West fits into social enterprise. First, I'm going to use MS tool to analyze the company through economic, social, and governance dimensions. So Station 20 West itself rents the room and space to the community event, and it shows 59% of revenue came from rental in 2017. Moreover, its five other co-locators provide a service and a product to address local needs as well. So it fits quite well for the first criteria of economic dimension. Second, Station 20 West does have a significant level of economic risk, as 72% of charitable activities are covered by the income. If they don't generate enough profit, it would be really difficult for them to carry out any activities. Then the last criteria is a minimum amount of paid work. In 2017, it shows there are one permanent full-time job and eight part-time jobs, and their composition come together are not over $120,000. Then we'll look into the second dimension, social. First, Station 20 West has explicit community benefit. They brought grocery back to the community so people can have easy access to the healthy food, and its co-locators provide other services to address the local needs. such as affordable housing, employment and training, and so on and so forth. Second, Station 20 West is a citizen-led and bottom-up business as their community leaders came together to start at the needs from the bottom line since its inception. Finally, Station 20 has a limitation on profit distribution, as 100% of profit is given back to the charity activities. Then the last dimension is governance. Station 20 West is fully autonomous since they are independent from the government. However, given the complexity in multi-stockholders governance, it is hard to say that it is democratic since each member could speak for themselves. According to a final report about the case of Station 20 West conducted by Findlay et al. In 2017 from the University of Saskatchewan, it is stated that if Station 20 West has profited throughout its history from the engagement and contributions of diverse stakeholders, they do not always feel they are well represented in the governance or have a voice in decision making. In addition, we found they did 1 year consultation through the neighborhood before they started the business. So they did give everybody an opportunity to participate and share the ideas. So we would see Station 20 West aligns quite well with social enterprise by using MS approach and analyze. Next, I will invite Rose to use HandCap tools to analyze Station 20 West. Thanks.
Hi everybody, following to our presentation today, I would like to analyze Station 20 West under the lens of Ed and Elton. My conclusion is that Station 20 West is a social enterprise in the aspect of economic, social, and political. First, about the economic dimension, I would like to show you the hybridization perspective. Station 20 West has a market in rental business. In the reporting period ending 2017, its revenue from rental accounts for 59% of the total $640,000. About the redistribution, absolutely, it has conducted a redistribution in the community through receiving gifts, which account for 23% of total revenue, as it planned for charitable activities, which account for 72% of expenditure. In terms of reciprocity aspect, of course, it has the dimension because the center brings agencies together to work with the community. They have together and work in partnership to provide services and sharing resources. Considering about the constancy of value, I see that Station 20 West absolutely has social value because it can supply a lot of services for communities such as affordable housing, early childhood education, healthcare service, access to good food, and promote good security. It also has economic value because it creates employment opportunities, affordable housing, and have market in rental business. About environmental perspective, according to its mission, social purpose business that aim for multi-bottom-line financial sustainability balanced with enhancement of social environmental conditions. So it's also focused on environmental value. Under Station 20 West create job opportunity with one permanent full-time job, a part-time or seasonal employee. Total compensation in 2017 is $119,000. It doesn't mention clearly about the role of volunteers. According to financial information in 2017, it paid $345 for education and training for staff and volunteers. And about the valorization of work, I can say that it has but a small, not a big yes. Regarding social dimension, I see that its principle focus on reducing poverty, improving the life of neighborhood residents. through addressing issues and finding solutions in the community, such as hierarchy of heart disease, timbers, and mental disorders. Therefore, I have a conclusion that Station 20 West has objective of transformation and repair. In terms of democratics, it doesn't have because it doesn't have vote or voter. It doesn't receive any funding from government, so it has autonomy. About the political dimension, although it doesn't have public sector to get ideas from community, but it has public space as a large multi-purpose room and smaller rooms available to rent for community events and meetings. Considering about the innovation with the different approach, Station 20 West creates environment to involve better in community. It transforms community life.
Hi, this is Ye Tian. Thanks for my group members share. Another crucial framework that we want to present is the Hudson approach from Ray Hudson. There are three categories: welfare, alternative, and radical. To begin with, the first aspect of welfare is nonprofit. Although Station 20 West registered as charity organization and receives donation, they do have sales generating from the rental activities. So we argue that Station 20 West is not a fully nonprofit, and here is a no. Instead, we can say it is a not-for-profit. And then there's no wealth redistribution. Since Station 20 West is a charitable organization, so the profit goes back to charity activities. And next, Station 20 West is filling gaps because it is developing housing, employment, and economic programs in the community, and also works with children, families, and communities to improve access to good food and promote food security. The second category is alternative. Firstly, we would give a yes to wealth generating. As mentioned earlier in the H&L tool, we see that more than 50% of Station 20 West profit comes from rental activities. So we can argue that they do have sales generated from the operations. And then, in terms of operating on different set of principles, it is a yes here. It is most demonstrated through a statement in the Station 20 West website saying that as an organization, they are guided by the principles of respect, resilience, reconciliation, which are essential to strengthen their community and ensuring everyone has the opportunity to participate and contribute to the well-being of the city and province. In other words, Station 20 West follows quite well with the CED principles to address the social needs and gaps. When it comes to social purpose, it's a yes. And the reason is that Station 20 West Development Corporation makes a significant contribution to social, health, education, and economic equality in the core neighborhoods of Saskatchewan. The last category is radical. Firstly, Station 20 West is wealth generating. As I just mentioned, that they do have sales generated from rental activities. In addition, we would give a yes to challenging opposition to the mainstream, because if we look at the way how Station 20 West tried to revitalize the core neighborhoods of Saskatchewan, we can see that it was radical since it transformed how the community approached to the community's demand at the one-stop shop Station 20 West, especially after the World War II, when all of the big companies moved out of the core neighborhoods as the part of the suburbanization and globalization. So as a result, we would not say Hudson's approach can be applied to Station 20 West effectively. Thank you.
This ends our group's presentation about Station 20 West Community Enterprise Center, and thank you for your listening.